It is such an irony that time can turn your most expensive possessions to become useless for you, and the most inexpensive and ignored ones to become useful for you. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, in recent times, your wardrobe, which might be full of expensive, branded clothes, apparels, which you always want to wear and flaunt to the world, has suddenly become useless. You have no opportunity to wear and step outside. But a simple, inexpensive piece of cloth, which is called as mask, has become so important that you cannot step out without wearing one. It is such a fallacy that sometimes things that we are proud of the most and the things that we praise the most become unworthy to us, become useless to us at the time of crisis. It's not our external wealth but our internal strength that helps us face the times of crisis. And the internal strength does not come from our external possession, but it does come from devotion to Lord, from spirituality. That's why I urge all of you to not ignore that spiritual dimension of your life, which you have always been thinking to be useless part of your life. Let me share a story which I have heard from my spiritual mentor. I hope that would help you to understand what really is praiseworthy in your own life. Once there was a deer who was very proud of himself, especially the horns that he had. He was wandering through a forest and he stopped by a pond to drink water and quench his thirst. As he bent down, he saw his own reflection in the water. And he said to himself, "Oh, how beautiful are my antlers." He thought, "I am the most beautiful animal in this entire forest." He kept admiring his thorns and the curves that he could see in the reflection of the water. As the deer was admiring his antlers, he suddenly noticed his skinny legs. He said to himself with disappointment, "Oh no, God has given me such an ugly legs. Look at my beautiful antlers. They are no match with my ugly legs." He felt ashamed of his legs. While he was frowning upon his legs, suddenly he heard some noise in the bushes. He saw that there was a hunter who was aiming a shot towards the deer. The deer was terrified. In the fear, he started to run towards the bushes to save himself. And suddenly, his thorns, of which he was so much proud of, got stuck into the bushes. He was not able to release himself until he pushed his legs very hard towards the ground. Finally, he was released and he ran towards the hill and he almost saved his life by an inch. While the deer outsmarted the hunter, he was breathing very heavily, thinking to himself, "I always cursed my legs. I always praised my thorns. But today, I was almost killed because hunter wanted to have my thorns. And over and above, these thorns got me stuck into the bushes. But the only way I could find a way out of my crisis was my legs, of which I was always ashamed of." In today's modern godless civilization, people are ashamed to talk about devotion to God. They are ashamed to introspect and discover their spiritual dimension. They are ignorant about this entirely undiscovered horizon of their own life. I would urge all of you to not be ashamed of this internal wealth and strength that we all have in this human form of life, because this is something which will really help us in the time of crisis.